Hi, this is Brian Iverson, the Tstud guy. I'm going to do a little demonstration today on the types of foam that we started with and where we ended up and why we ended up with the type of foam that we use from our Tstud product. When we first started out, this is my 3000 degree foam here. This is how we first started out. We had the wrong foam entirely. It melts instantly. It helps burn the product, disappears, exposes the fasteners on the inside. This should only take 1 minute, I figure. It's going to start falling through. And maybe in an actual house fire, propane's not the accelerant, but you never know, right? Because you got to plan for everything. You're going to start building up a new product. You want to make sure you're using the right products to build your final product, because it's all about life safety. So as you can see, when we first started building the Tstud, we were trying to use nails and screws and everything in order to build the product. And this is how it all goes. It just disappears on you. You see that stud on the left? I actually tried, before I started this up, I actually tried to burn our dowel up in that over there, and I've been at that over there for 10 minutes, and I couldn't even burn the dowel because the dowel has our same adhesive in it. All right, that's how you fail a product. That's how you decide in your R&D work that maybe that's not the route to go. Most EPSs, extruded polystyrenes, that you put on the outside of a house look like this. They do the same thing. They don't necessarily burn, but they disappear and melt. And once those drips hit wood and they sit there in a pile, you get enough of it and it helps fuel the fire. What we decided to do, on the other hand, was to take a product, a type 1 foam. I don't need to show any more of this. I was hoping to start up that piece of plywood on fire because it's bone dry on the side, but it's not going to go. But there's nothing left of it. Here's the one I've been burning for a while. I couldn't even get it to start on fire this morning. Okay, so when we started building the Tstud, we had to do a lot of research on what kind of adhesives to use in order to get those dowels in there. So we had to use an adhesive known as, it has to pass a test called D2559, which is a moisture resistant and a heat resistant product. I'll stand here for 10 minutes and this foam won't burn. It'll char. I'll show you after a while what it'll look like. I've actually been trying to dry out the wood, kind of replicate what it's actually like inside of a wall after 10, 20, 30 years. Obviously, I'm trying to burn up the foam. What happens to this foam, because of the blowing agent that's inside of it, it actually just chars just like wood. So we had the test done by UL, Underwriters Laboratory. I'm going to take the flame away here. That's what happens. It actually swelled up a little bit. Okay, so we had a test done by UL. It's called the E84 test, flame spread test. And 2 2x6s in plank, and I'll show you, in a typical wall, or 2 2x4s in plank. The fire department, so I've been told, cannot enter into an attic space if the wall has been on fire for at least 10 minutes. They can't go up there because those top plates and probably the headers have been violated, and they have no idea if they will still be intact enough to hold up the roof. The Tstud, on the other hand, after the E84 test, this is 3,500 degrees. 2 high pressure leads is what the UL test is. I mean, UL's job is to destroy your product because they have to represent the consumer, right? So their whole entire job is to burn up your product on you so you fail. That's their job. And they're quite proud of that, I found out. And they were blown away that in the Steiner tunnel test that this is done in, if the flame goes all the way down to 24 feet, you're a Class C product. Well, we ended up being a Class A product through the test results anyway, because the flame only went 5.5 feet. So 3,500 degrees, they tried to draw that flame all the way across the product. And we only made it 5.5 feet. So even they were impressed. Obviously, we were impressed too. So we continued doing research on it, but we haven't changed that foam. So it's a Type 1 polyiso foam, but it does have a fire retardant in it because it's all about life safety. You see, I had a house burned down once, and the occupants did get out in time. They actually, the buggers, they got in there because they were trying to keep warm. Started up a fire in the fireplace. I mean, this house had been tagged to be burned down. We were getting ready to burn it down because it was in the middle of a real estate development. And they went in, started a fire, lit the thing up on fire. As soon as it got on fire, they ran like heck. They didn't even call the fire department. 10 minutes later, somebody called the fire department, and the house ended up being on the ground in 20 minutes. That's how fast that went. So after you have a fire in the house, you want to make sure that you create a product that's going to withstand whatever that you're going to throw at it as much as you can and humanly possible, to give the fire department enough time to be able to get the occupants out in time. Obviously, I've done this test and watched this test many times. I actually worked for the fire captain back in the 70s in Forest Lake, Minnesota. And I've been to many fires. I've never been to a fire where somebody had actually passed in there, but it sure scares the heck out of you when you're actually standing up close to one and you see what damage a fire can do. So that's why we didn't fool around when we made this product, and we didn't fool around when we picked out our foam. We have a number of manufacturers that would like to make our foam product for us. I'll take this away again. Still doesn't burn. So here's what happens right away. This is the brand new one. So it burns. It looks like it burns a little bit until it starts to char. And I'll take the fire away. And it just like that, swells up. That's it. I'm going to still keep on trying to burn this one over here. If I had a third hand, I'd reach over here and grab my other stuff, but that's not going to work. I see. We've had a number of firemen make comments that they wanted to see a simple test on themselves. Well, I don't know how much more of a redneck test that I can do than this one right here, to at least show them the extent of what we've gone through for product development. We've probably burnt up maybe about 500 feet of product trying to test the time of it. So even after the UL test was done, we still had 90% structural capacity left over. We don't want the fire department to think that they have extra time. We just want to give them extra time to be able to get in, get the fire out, make the structure safer. They can still work under the same guidelines that they have to work on, be in and out in 10 minutes out of that fire. But this is what we've done to help them out. Wood won't even stay lit. The moisture content in that piece of wood right there has got to be about 8%. And this stud has been sitting around for probably close to a year. I've been at this for 11 minutes already. So the interesting part about our product development is this adhesive that we had to use. We could have used something else in our walls to hold the dowels in place for the studs themselves, but the top plate, the headers, and the bottom plate all had to have that adhesive that passed that D2559 test. So we opted to use that even in making all of our studs. Otherwise, they're going to end up being too many SKUs. So if this is your top plate, we get by with a single top plate. The foam is adhered to the wood because it's a polyiso. It just doesn't want to give up. Obviously, I'm trying to force this thing to burn in one spot right now. But our goal was to make sure that no air could get to the attic through that foam, in case the fire was in the attic or in the wall. This one's going to burn, I think. No, still not going to go. 12 minutes. I still can't get this one to go. So we are 2 minutes past an E84 flame spread test, and nothing is on fire. I want that dowel to burn up for you, but I don't think it's gonna. I think there's too much adhesive on it. It won't light. It looks like it's maybe a little bit smaller right now in size, but I've literally been at that for 10 minutes, and those dowels are completely encased in the foam. I'm not exactly sure how long I have to stand here in order to get that wood member to burn up. But I think it's still going to be here in an hour. I've never gone past 15 minutes. Now I'm trying to actually literally help the thing along. All right. Maybe the 2x4 next to it makes it stay lit. There's no fire retardant on that one at all. So that's actually the only one burning. That's like two 2x6s in plank right there. So that one's still on fire. That's kind of strange. That's on fire and we're not on fire. And I'm trying to burn this one up and that one over there is burning. Okay, it's not funny. But all right. So I'll shut that off. Let me show you what this looks like. So here's a 2x6. Here's a 2x6. Put two of these together. That's your top plate in a normal construction, or two 2x4s. After an E84 flame spread test, that's what's left. There's nothing left. The roof is on the ground. Nothing's left. This is a Tstud after an E84 flame spread test. Two burners, 3,500 degrees. That's how much of structural capacity is left over. And this is within the first 5 feet of that fire. Everything's gone. it's there. That's the backside, discolored a little bit, but that's how much structural capacity is left over. So that concludes our little show and tell today. So I hope that gives you a bit of confidence that we have done a fair bit of research to get figured out what kind of foam we want to use.